We have a deal, which is great news, and the latest updates on the stimulus package. Let's get into it as we have new information hot off the wire. Hey everyone, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video as information is changing very rapidly during this time, and this channel is your one-stop shop for all of the latest updates that you need to know about during this time, as well as my commitment and my dedication to each and every one of you as well as this community as a whole to bring you honest, accurate, reliable, and transparent information every single day as it is being released, just like what we're going to talk about right here in this video. So thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it, and I promise you I'll be here for you every single day going forward, standing right by your side, making sure that you're getting all the money and benefits that you're eligible to receive during this time. So again, thank you so much, subscribe, and let's jump into this right away. All right, so like we talked about in my last video a few hours ago, Congress is an absolute mess. I mean, there's no other way to say it other than Congress is a mess. They have so much on their plate right now. It's almost like they're having a hard time figuring out what to focus on and what they should actually be working on, simply because they have so many important initiatives on their plate. It's almost like, I don't know what to focus on. But we just got some new information hot off the wire, and for the first time in history, Republicans and Democrats have decided to come together and work together on a bipartisan basis. Now, by the way, I'm being a little bit sarcastic when I'm saying the first time in history. It's not the first time in history, but all of us recognize it has been a very long time since they have come together and worked on a bipartisan basis. But they are actually coming together once again right here. So let's talk about all the details here, and then we can talk about all the latest updates on this stimulus package, as once again we are getting more information on this as well. So in my last video, I talked about how Mitch McConnell floated this idea and presented Democrats with this idea that they could temporarily suspend the debt ceiling through November, like pretty much until December 1st, with this short-term legislation that was coming out of Mitch McConnell. Well, we didn't hear any response other than the fact that Mitch McConnell kind of floated the idea, and we were waiting for a response out of Democrats. We just heard Democrats are going to go ahead and accept the offer. Boom! We've got a deal. So they're coming together and they're going to accept this deal from Mitch McConnell to suspend the debt ceiling through November, which basically sets them up for about 6 weeks of time where they need to start moving forward with the reconciliation process to actually raise the debt ceiling and or suspend the debt ceiling until December of 2022, which is what they want to do. Now, Democrats are not too excited about using reconciliation to do this, but Mitch McConnell has basically said, this is your opportunity, take it or leave it. So they're going to jump on this because, as we know, less than 2 weeks from now, we could be looking at a massive default in this country, which would be a bad situation across the board for pretty much everybody here. So they definitely want to avoid that if possible, and it looks like they're going to do that. So they're coming together. Finally, they're going to work together on something. First time in history. Well, not the first time. I'm just kidding with that. You know that. I was just kidding. But either way, this is actually a really good thing. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so like what's the deal with the debt ceiling? Why do we care about all this? Well, we've talked about this before, and the deal is if this does happen where the country would go into some kind of massive default like this, we could potentially be looking at like delays to payments like Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB, many things like this. We could be seeing some delays to payments. Not your benefits ending, but rather just some delays to payments. We could also see basically anything that would be funded by the federal government pretty much stopped because the federal government would be out of cash, right? Done, out of cash. But it looks like they're going to come together on this and kind of float this along for another 6 weeks or so, and then maybe they'll come together and get this thing done. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're in this same situation in 6 weeks again, simply because they love waiting until the very last minute, and then they frantically run around and figure out how to get something done, right? We've seen this happen so many times over the last year and a half. I imagine we're going to see the same thing in about 6 weeks slash late November, I should say, right? So anyway, I'll keep you posted on that. All right, now, what are Democrats saying about the stimulus packages now that they have this kind of almost a deal with Mitch McConnell and the Republicans? One quick other note, I just remember this and I want to throw this out there for you. As far as the legislation goes from Mitch McConnell, they are still writing that up. As of this recording, I just saw the latest report and they are still writing up the legislation. They're expected to be voting on that either later today, so could possibly be a late vote, or tomorrow sometime. So again, I'll keep you posted on all that. But anyway, let's talk about the stimulus package really quickly here now. So now Democrats are basically coming out saying, great, this frees up a bunch of time so we can start moving forward with these two packages. Now remember, in my previous videos, I've been saying that they are hopeful that they'll still bring final votes on this by the end of this week. I'm just going to go ahead and say, I'm going to call a bluff on that one. Seriously, I don't think that's going to happen. However, things do happen sometimes very rapidly. We won't know until the dime comes. As we all know here, things are literally changing on an hourly basis, minute by minute. Things are changing very rapidly. So maybe, just maybe, there could still be those votes sometime this week. But again, we won't know anything until we actually see the voting happening, the ink on the paper, the legislation, you know what I mean? All this kind of stuff like that. So, but yeah, good stuff. Either way, they plan on spending the next 6 weeks or so really honing down and spending some time on these next two packages, even though Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have drawn this line in the sand, basically saying October 31st, Halloween, or sorry, was that a Halloween noise? I don't know. Anyway, Halloween is essentially the date that they have drawn in the sand saying, we want to get these two packages done and passed by the end of this month. Well, newsflash, guys, you've only got about 3 weeks to go. We're already pretty much a week into October, right? Wow, it's going fast already, right? The snow's going to be flying before we know it. That's what they say where I'm from. Anyway, it gets cold pretty early. So yeah, I'm sure my mom is probably watching this saying, yep, snow's going to be flying soon. Anyway, shout out to my mom. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate you watching this. But yeah, seriously. We're moving our way through October, and they want to get this whole thing done here in a matter of just a couple weeks from right now. So once again, we've got a lot cooking right now, but either way, it sounds like we're not going to have to worry about this whole default situation as far as the debt ceiling, the debt limit, all that business going down that we've been talking about for a couple months now. So it looks like we might have a little bit of a pass for about 6 weeks or so until they actually come together and probably deal with this mess once again at the end of November. So I would anticipate probably sometime after Thanksgiving and December 1st, we're probably going to be dealing with this same situation once again. Just kind of how Congress works, right? But anyway, we've got some good stuff cooking right here. They're finally knocking a few things off their plate. Essentially, all they're doing is just kicking the can down the road, and they're going to have to deal with it again in a short term. Just like the continuing resolution, which they want to keep the government funded, which was actually passed last week until early December. So once again, early December is going to be a major cliff coming down once again with this debt ceiling issue and the continuing resolution, as in the government funding. So there you go. December 1st, right around there, we're going to see some massive cliffs coming down once again. Yep. So anyway, I told you in my last video I would continue watching this. I'd bring you the latest updates as we get them. So here I am, bringing you the latest updates. Also, by the way, for anybody watching, if anybody even watches this long, I'm not even sure, but if somebody's still watching, and I'm not talking to myself right now, be aware of those other people who continue to steal my videos. So not only are they stealing my channel name and making fake profiles and asking you to call, text, or chat them, we've also got these other jokers out there who are stealing my videos and re-uploading them with a different voice. What they're doing is they're using a voice changer to actually change my voice, and they're re-uploading my videos with some ridiculous pictures and videos. So again, this is my one and only channel. This is the only place where I upload right here for everything that I do. It's all right here on this channel. So again, if you want the real information, watch this channel. Watch out for all the other people who are stealing my information and putting it up on online. So by the way, if you happen to see those people and you happen to be one of those people, just check it out. I am filing copyright infringement on you, so you might want to watch yourself. Anyway, I'll get you. Don't worry. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Thanks, everybody. I truly appreciate it. Subscribe down below, as this is the one and only channel you need to be watching right now. And I'll continue to be here for you every single day, as I'm very much committed and dedicated to helping you out. Enjoy. I'll catch you again later in the next